Hello, today after more than a week since our previous video, SBF started testifying. We now know his line of defense, which means basically how he is explaining himself, because just for the reminder, he claims all the time that he is innocent and that he didn't take the customer's money.
I did not know that there is any improper use of customer funds.
So now we can discuss how the situation developed and oh boy, what new juicy evidence and interesting facts came out. I ran through a lot of reports from the court, opinions and the transcripts to give you some perspective on what is happening. It can be a little bit biased, but I think with the facts that will be uncovered, you will be able to judge everything yourself. So guys, grab your favorite drink, and again I'll try to squeeze this video to a super short format so that again you can watch it in a short break. Okay, so let's start with a quick reminder that Caroline Ellison and a couple of other co-founders / most important people in the firm already testified in the court against SBF with the cooperation with the government, basically confessing to the guilt and saying that Sam as well knew about everything, that all the stuff, i.e. the unlimited lending of customer funds to Alameda, was happening with his full approval, etc. What we can add from the previous episode from the Ellison side is that she mentioned he had a different, we can say, risk profile, that he once said, and this is a quote, he would be happy to flip a coin if it came up tails and the world was destroyed, as long as if it came up heads, the world would be more like twice as good. End of the quote. Which gives us the impression that he could be a simple gambler-minded person, so to say. But to be fair, that can be also taken out of context, and this way it is sure looking not good for Sam. But moving forward, we had SBF testimony, and I need to say that his line of defense, in my opinion, looks very pearly. He still claims he didn't intend to do what he's been charged of, and that in his view, he thinks he made a mistake only of not hiring the risk manager and further basically trying to push all the blame to others. That the executives had the autonomy in making decisions and that CEO of Alameda didn't listen when he urged her to hedge the risk and that basically it is her fault. And also that Alameda had this credit line due to the terms and conditions written by lawyers, which FTX had to abide. They've been also trying to prove that the vast majority of FTX customers were engaged in programs that were inherently risky, and in some cases these users agreed to lend their money to other users. So while the defense didn't come out and say this was the reason for money on FTX vanishing for users, this can be interpreted as a strategy to create doubt in the juror's mind and so on. Which on the paper, it would be a reasonable approach, but in the end, nothing comes close to get him out of the blame for what happened since the evidence are clear. But let's continue how the testimony went. First thing is that overall, SBF tried to explain in details what was happening as much as possible, and he basically fell into his own trap, because while he was explaining more, then the prosecutors were asking more and more detailed and direct questions, which he then couldn't answer or answered indirectly or said he did not recall anything, so much so the judge instructed him to listen more carefully to the questions. Next, he tried to make the junkie out of Alameda CEO because of what she tweeted in 2021. And further, he dug his own grave, saying that paying $10 million for the stadium name sponsorship, which at the time accounted for 1% of the FTX total revenue, was justified. But that's not all, and it doesn't fully show his blame. The thing that prosecutors are focusing on the most are internal chats between SBF and all the people involved. Because this is the gold mine with the evidence, this is where the body is buried. So let's begin. SBF says he is innocent while he was trying to fool clients till the end by retweeting or commenting on a post of some anonymous crypto trader where he suggested he will not withdraw the money if they will send him an airdrop after everything will calm down. Then the situation with Binance, which most likely many of you remember, when FTX proposed to buy out their equity, i.e. the FTT tokens, from Binance for $22 a piece to again fake the impression that everything is okay. As a side note, he also tried to sell equity to MBS, the Saudi prince, and bribe Chinese government officials for $100 million in hopes that it will bring $1 billion from overseas to cover the gaping hole in the books. Not mentioning, of course, about millions worth of donations to politicians, which were orchestrated among others by SBF mom, and which didn't end even after the FTX case came out to light. So summarizing everything, it still doesn't look good for the SBF. Yes, he is trying to blame others, but facts are that he did knew about everything, and that even if Caroline Ellison was the one who lost the money, FTX, by his approval, didn't pull the plug on Alameda, and that his explanation about not knowing the limit of how much Alameda can borrow from FTX while later trying to hide everything just don't add up. Even if he didn't intend to defraud the customers' money, in the end, he/they did. And the fact is that the money is gone. And they knew the hole in the account was too big to cover, and yet they still were donating money and buying homes, which we discussed in previous video. They were buying jets, sponsorships, and so on. So they were spending like there was no tomorrow, while pretending to be some, a good Samaritan, driving like a, cheap Toyota, wearing only t-shirt and shorts, and yeah, basically acting just so that PR match the, rogue founder of the crypto exchange. So in my opinion, it is just a matter of time. But as always, what do you guys think? Does he have a chance to get out of the situation? Let me know, of course, down below. For now, thank you for watching, and till next time.